Okay, so I promise you this guy doesn't look anything like me except for the glasses and the hairdo. But I was looking for a picture of a teacher in front of the class, and it was hysterical. The first like 500 were women, lots of them absolutely gorgeous, and I'm sure all of them lovely people. But I'm thinking, what the hell happened to men teaching? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just using this as kind of an intro to what has it's become obvious to me that I need to start each of these videos with some kind of a very brief tutorial. Brief is the essence of pattern betting. But the first thing that I want to get across to anybody who's in any doubt about the viability of progressive betting against casino games of chance, I want to tell them the only way that you can win is with progressive betting. Because if you flat bet, then you're just going to keep digging a hole with more losses than wins. And so the hole will gradually get a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And if you're betting the same amount all the time, then each time you win, you take one step towards daylight. And if if you're lucky, the next step take one more step towards daylight, one more. But you can't possibly expect to get out of a 50-foot hole with a 10-foot ladder, which is an expression that I like to use quite often, probably to the annoyance of people who keep coming back to these videos. But I have to deal with the fact that there are lots of people out there who just sort of like drop in and move on because they can't relate to exactly what's being presented. So the first thing to understand is don't be afraid of these games. There really is nothing to be afraid of. They are basically coin tosses until you get into games like double zero roulette and nonsense like that. 3-card poker, 30% for the house. Texas Hold'em, probably 20% for the house. Silly bets, field bets at craps, probably 4 to 5% for the house. But blackjack is less than 1% in the house's favor if you bet sensibly and if you use the basic strategy, which everybody should learn before they even think about sitting down at a blackjack table. And if they can't be bothered to learn it, at least have it in their pocket. And also, don't be afraid to ask the dealer or other players, what should I do here? Because dealers generally will not tell lies. They'll say something like, the book says, and they'll try to be sort of like unemotional, disinterested, unbiased, etc. Other players, of course, can help, but very often the other players at a table with you are as ignorant as you are. So, but anyway, down is the amount that you're in the hole, so it's your loss today. Out is the value of your next bet. And generally speaking, it shouldn't be less than a fifth of your hole or your down, simply because what you're going to do once you get a win trigger is you are going to increase your bet and increase it again until you get out of the hole. And nobody, least of all me, is saying that there are any guarantees that a single win will be followed by another win and by another win after that. But what you have to do is make sure that you have enough money in play to be of some use to you in your quest to get out of the hole and back into the sunshine. Okay? So just always maintain a relationship between the down, which is basically your target, this is how much you need to win to get out of trouble, and your out, which is the value of your next bet. Okay? The hop is baccarat only. That's where, after a certain number of consecutive losses backing, say, banker, you move to the other side. But what I like to do is I wait for a win trigger. In other words, I'll back out of the game. I won't put any money down. I will just not bet until I see a win on the side that I've now hopped to. So if I've gone from banker to player, I wait for a player win, and then boom, I carry on betting the amount that I was at when I hopped. Okay, so if you're going 25, 50, 200, okay, hop, then wait, 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 win on the bank, 200, 400, whatever. Watch the demos, watch the videos, please, because I announce every bet going on. I mean, this is hundreds of hours by now of these things, and yet I still have people coming back to me and saying, "I don't understand what you're doing because you explain the rules." You know? And that's fine. I mean, I'm not in this for money. I'm not in this for anything. I'm not in it for self-glorification or anything like that. I just want people to understand that these games can be beaten, but you can't expect to do it without discipline and loads of money behind you, because you have to keep in mind what the casinos have at their disposal in terms of money to wait out a winning streak that you might hit in which you hurt them badly, you know. So you've got to think in terms of, you're not going to match the amount of money that the casinos have, but to go into a game in Las Vegas where there's a $25 minimum with only $2,000 is stupid. I'm sorry. It's the only word that works. It is stupid. Yes, you might get lucky. And if all you're about is having a fun time and getting shit-faced on free booze and spending ridiculous amounts of money on your room and your food and all the rest of it, because the days are long gone when rooms could be had for $10, really nice rooms too, for $10 a night in Las Vegas, and superb meals for $5 or less. That's over. You know, the prod knows is the accountants moved in, and boom, now Las Vegas is as expensive as anywhere else on earth when it comes to meals and rooms and so on. And the casinos are making money in every direction. I mean, apart from anything, they also charge, what do they call it? Resort fees. So not only do you get skinned for a room and for food, but they add on top of that. It's just like these damn hotels where they add parking fees now. I mean, come on. Jesus. You know, I mean, everybody's a sucker for these people. That's the way they think. Skip. In Baccarat, that's what I was just talking about, where you sit out one or more rounds in response to whatever you decide is the appropriate number of losses. I tend to go with three losses in a row, as you will have seen or will see in all of the demos, the Baccarat demos that are on the channel, on the Practice Makes Profit channel. I skip if I can. Sometimes you can't. If you can't skip, then just bet as little as you can get away with. The smallest bet that you can get away with. Jump is getting out of the game completely, just walking away from a shoe or waiting for the next one, you know. And it's not that I'm suggesting to you that another shoe will be different, will be better, will be easier, will be whatever. It's for you, for your own mental welfare, if you like, mental health, mental well-being, a pause, a chance to sort of draw breath, figure out where you're going, get a little perspective, and just wait out a bad stretch. But you know, if you walk away from a game, it doesn't change the situation at all, other than in your mind. Okay, so get out of a game, but make sure that you take your down and you're out with you to the next game, and then you continue playing at the prior levels, because the situation you're in is what you're going to do is every sort of series of bets. I like to call it a skirmish. Okay, that's where you start with a minimum bet, then you start to have to fight against against the whole. You're losing a little bit, you're losing a little bit more, you're losing a little bit more. Then when you get to turnaround, that's it, over and out, finished. That's the end of that cycle, that series, that sequence of bets. And then you start over with a minimum bet. And falling back to a minimum bet is absolutely essential. You must do that. Do not let greed grab hold of you. You know, you're in this. Yes, you're in it for fun. Winning is fun, I promise you. You know, and I hear people every so often sort of saying, "Oh, this obsession you have with numbers and looking at everything in a cold-blooded way takes all the joy out of gambling." There is no joy in losing. I'm sorry. I mean, if there is for you, then good luck to you. But there isn't for me. I don't like losing. I don't think it's fun at all. I enjoy the challenge of beating the house, and I do it again and again and again and again. Yes, I admit I have not played in Nevada since I left the USA in 2014. My obsession basically has been with working on a progressive betting strategy for horse racing. And I'll tell you, it is terrific. But it's basically just exactly what I'm talking about here. And in all the demos, in all the table game demos that I've put up, it's exactly the same thing. It's wait for a win trigger, bang, 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 and then back to the minimum bet until another win trigger comes along, and then bang, bang, bang. And that's what you're doing, you know. And it's scientific, it's mathematical, it's numerate. The most important thing is it isn't half-assed and random and kind of shit or bust like these clowns on YouTube with their gambling channels, where they just throw money around like it's toilet paper, and use toilet paper at that. You know, I mean, it's bizarre. But of course, these guys get money back from Google for all the hits that they get. I mean, you've got this guy, Vegas Matt, who says his bets are relatable, and then you see him putting down $9,800 on Banker, and he never bets on anything but Banker and Baccarat, and it's taken away because there's no strategy to the way that he plays, other than fling money at it, keep throwing money at it until it comes back to you. And of course, you know, the way that he and Matt, I'm not trying to attack him specifically, but all of these guys have something going for them that you don't as a gambler, and that is they have a backup plan. They have Google paying them for putting stuff in front of you, which is directly intended to entice you into casinos. And when Vegas Matt and his ilk say things like, "No, we're not promoting gambling," of course they're promoting gambling. That's why the casinos treat them like VIPs. It's why they get their valuable player points. It's why they get their free food, free rooms, free travel, free Christ knows what. It's because they are fairground barkers. They're the guys in the front of the house with a megaphone saying, roll up, suckers." You know, double obviously is self-explanatory. You make your out double your previous bet, which is PB, okay, until minus N. Minus N is your choice, okay? -3 happens to be mine, but that's up to you. The drop is in blackjack, because you can't hop, is to fall back to a minimum bet that you've set yourself, or the table minimum, until you get a win trigger, and then bang, go back in with the full value bet where you were before you dropped. Okay, so that's it. I mean, I said it would be quick. It wasn't. It's 14 minutes. Very sorry. I am not a professional teacher, but, you know, I'm doing my best. He is. And doesn't look anything like me, but at least he looks like a teacher. He doesn't look like a very happy teacher either, does he? Poor guy. Anyway, that's me done again for a bit.